Sunday.
Good to be with you.
You say that there is a small group of American and Mideast officials who are trying to steer President Trump into a conflict with Iran. Who and why?
Well, I base my statement on their own statements. Mr. Netanyahu has said time and again that he encouraged President Trump to designate Iranian Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization. He has said that he was the sole opposition to the JCPOA.
The nuclear deal.
The nuclear deal, and he encouraged the United States to leave that deal. Mr. Bولتون has said publicly, before he became National Security Advisor, in a rally that was organized by an Iranian terrorist organization that was on the list of terror groups by the United States State Department, and Mr. Bولtون was on the payroll, that he would celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution in Tehran with that terrorist organization. He's on the record after receiving $50,000 from them to say that. He has said it again as National Security Advisor.
So you think it's Israel, Bولtón,
Saudi Arabia,
Salman,
and United Arab Emirates.
All trying to exercise regime change?
At least. At least. They have all shown an interest in dragging the United States into a conflict. I do not believe that President Trump wants to do that. I believe President Trump ran on a campaign promise of not bringing the United States into another war. But I believe President Trump's intention to put pressure, the policy of maximum pressure on Iran, in order to bring Iran to its knees so that we would succumb to pressure, is doomed to failure. And I think these poor individuals know this.
The U.S. has just announced that it is ending waivers for countries, 5 countries, that were continuing to buy oil from Iran. Do you see that as part of the effort to bring Iran to its knees? And do you have an understanding with the 2 big buyers, China and Turkey, that they're going to ignore the U.S. and continue to buy your oil?
Well, the intention of the United States is put as much pressure as it can on the Iranian people. You know that we had huge floods that affected almost the entire country, and the United States, through its banking regulations, prevented even Iranian expatriates to assist their countrymen because they couldn't send any money.
But what about oil?
So it's a policy that is directed against the Iranian people. They want to put Iranian people under enough pressure, and this has been said by both Mr. Bولtón as well as Secretary Pompeo, that they want to put pressure on the Iranian people so that they would take action against the government. They're wrong in their analysis. They're wrong in their hope and illusions. It would put pressure on the Iranian people. The outcome of that pressure, the consequence of that pressure, is that it would make Iranians more determined to resist that pressure. On your second question, nobody is happy with the fact that the United States is trying to impose its will on the rest of the international community. You know that. This is coercion, pure and simple. People are not happy. China is not happy. Turkey is not happy. Russia is not happy. France is not happy. U.S. allies are not happy that this is happening. And they say that they will find ways of resisting it. How they will do it, it's up to them. And it's up to them looking at their own future, whether they want to have their lives ruled by the United States.
But, Mr. Foreign Minister, you make it sound as if Iran is the victim in all of this. President Trump says that Iran has been a bad actor for decades.
Iran's leaders sow chaos, death, and destruction. They do not respect their neighbors or borders or the sovereign rights of nations.
The IRGC has killed more than 600 American soldiers in Iraq. Iran spends almost $1 billion a year supporting terrorist organizations like Hezbollah and Hamas. And the U.S. says you're violating UN Resolution 2231 in continuing to test ballistic missiles. They say you're not the victim here, you're the villain.
Well, first of all, let's start from the last. The United States is the country that left the nuclear deal. 2231 is a resolution that has two annexes. First annex is the entire JCPOA, which President Trump decided to withdraw from. I don't think that would put Iran in the bad light and the United States in the good category of law-abiding. Secondly, 2231's language on missiles is very clear. It says that Iran will not develop missiles that are designed to be capable of carrying nuclear weapons. We do not design any of our missiles.
But you just tried to launch a missile to put a satellite into space.
Yeah,
they say that's a missile that's designed.
No, it's designed to put a satellite into space.
But it also is a ballistic missile.
No, it's not. It is a ballistic missile, but it's not designed to carry a nuclear weapon. And the Security Council resolution is very clear. I negotiated it, so I know what's in it. President Trump has hardly read that resolution. So let's go to the second one. IRGC has never killed Americans. IRGC is there to fight terrorism. Yesterday in Iraq, there was a commemoration of 300 IRGC personnel who were killed alongside the Iraqis in fighting ISIS. President Trump himself said during the debate, I think it was the debate that you moderated, that Iran is killing ISIS in response to Hillary Clinton.
Do you deny that you have provided weapons to pro-Iranian militia that have ended up in the death of 608 Americans?
I mean, that's a new charge that the United States, and it's a very dangerous accusation, because I believe the B team wants to actually push the United States, lure President Trump into a confrontation that he doesn't want. Now, let's deal with the other issue. You talk about money. President Trump himself has said that you spent $7 trillion in our region. We are in our own region. The United States came to our region, spent $7 trillion, and the only outcome of that was that we have more terror, we have more insecurity, we have more instability. People in our region are making the determination that the presence of the United States is inherently destabilizing. I think President Trump agrees with that.
When the moderates, so-called moderates like yourself and President Rouhani took over, the idea was you were going to have outreach to the West and Iran's economy would benefit. Since the U.S. has pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, Iran's economy has gone into recession. You tried to resign, in fact, in February, and in large part, we're told, because you felt the hardliners were keeping you out of diplomacy. Here's my question. Are the so-called moderates, like Rouhani and yourself, are you losing the struggle for power in Iran to the hardliners? And what happens if the hardliners take back control? What will happen to U.S. relations?
I think when President Trump came to office, there were a bigger purge of the people who worked in the National Security Council than there has ever been a purge in Iran. People have different views in Iran, and these different views are presented to the public, and they vote for them. They vote for moderates, they vote for people with different views. So that's the policy process which you should be used to. I mean, the difference between President...
But there is a difference between the Republicans and Democrats.
Of course,
and there is a difference between moderates and hardliners.
No,
are you losing to the hardliners?
No, the point is, engagement is not producing results in Iran. President Trump has made sure that the people of Iran would not believe in engagement. We approached the international community in good faith. We reached an agreement with the international community, with the United States, 6 other powers. President Trump, just because he disliked President Obama, just left that agreement without having read it. And people of Iran started to feel and started to see that engagement does not have dividends. That's a very bad message, not only that you're sending to the people of Iran, but you're sending to the rest of the world, that they should not rely on the signature of a president of the United States. So it's just the message that the United States is not reliable. Maybe he believes in America first, but America cannot be first in a globally insecure environment. We all need to work together in a global environment that is safe. And you can only live in a safe global environment if you respect yourself by respecting your signature.
Mr. Foreign Minister, thank you.
Good to be with you.